Have you ever wondered how JavaScript actually runs your code behind the scenes? Why hoisting happens, or why functions remember variables even after they finish? Today, we're going inside the JavaScript engine to understand the execution context. An execution context is like a container where JavaScript code runs. It holds all the information the engine needs to execute your code, variables, functions, and references to outer scopes. JavaScript has three main types of execution contexts. Number 1, Global Execution Context. This is created when your script first runs. It's like the outermost box that holds everything. Number 2, Function Execution Context. Every time you call a function, JavaScript creates a brand new environment just for it. And number 3, Eval Execution Context. Rarely used, it's created when you use the eval function, but most developers never touch it. Think of a React application. It's made up of multiple components, each handling a specific part of the UI. When these components come together, your app starts to make sense and function as a whole. Similarly, an execution context in JavaScript is made up of several internal components. Each one has a role to play, and together they make your code run smoothly behind the scenes. First component is realm. It defines a global environment in which your code runs. A new realm is created every time you open a browser tab, run a JS file, or even create an iframe. Now, the realm itself contains few things in it. As visible, intrinsics contain built-in JavaScript objects like function, date, array, boolean, and so on. Global object, on the other hand, contains properties and methods, be it built-in or user-defined, like fetch, set timeout, variable declared with var or function declaration. Once the realm is created, JavaScript sets up the global environment record. You can imagine it as a detailed registry that keeps track of everything in the global scope. It contains references to the global object, variable declared with let and const, the this keyword, and the outer env property. Now comes the lexical environment, which you can think of as the blueprint that keeps track of identifiers, like variables and functions, and how they are nested within scopes. Each time a function is created or executed, a new lexical environment is formed. This environment has two parts. The environment record, which actually stores variable and function bindings, like a map of names to values. The outer environment reference, which points to the parent environment. This is what enables JavaScript's scope chain. So when your code can't find a variable locally, it looks outward, one environment at a time. The variable environment is quite similar to the lexical environment, but it specifically keeps track of variables declared using the var keyword and function declarations. During the creation phase, all var variables are initialized with the value undefined, while functions are fully hoisted and available for use. Meanwhile, the lexical environment handles variables declared with let and const, which remain in the temporal dead zone until the execution phase. The last key component is the this binding, which determines what the keyword this refers to in a given context. In the global execution context, this refers to the global object. In function execution contexts, the value of this depends on how the function is called, for example, using a method, constructor, or arrow function. There are also a few other internal components inside the execution context, like the private environment record and the script or module environment record. I haven't covered those here to keep things simple, but I've added a link to the official ECMAScript documentation in the description if you'd like to explore them in detail. Here is a quick recap what we learned in part 1. Execution context is like a container where your code actually runs, like the control room of JavaScript. Types of execution context includes global execution context and function execution context. Main components of execution context are realm, lexical environment, variable environment, and this binding. That's all for this video. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to watch part 2, where we'll see these execution context components in action with a fun code example.